Hey everybody, Colton here with a special little weekend update video for you. I'm seeing a lot of these reports that someone who works at a movie theater in, I believe, Brazil, says that they have seen one of the Avengers trailers. Now, what is certainly true is that yes, movie theaters have received the Avengers Doomsday trailer or trailers, but I'm not so sure that we need to be believing that anyone has actually seen them. And I will explain why here shortly. But first, I thought we would read this report. Lots of sites are reporting on it. The first one that happened to come up for me was Fandom Wire. So let's read this report, read the description of the trailer, and then we'll go from there. All right, alleged Avengers Doomsday trailer leak. RDJ fights Magneto. Loki helps Reed Richards. An unverified post circulating online claims to describe an early teaser trailer for Avengers Doomsday, allegedly shared by a cinema employee in Brazil. According to the post, the teaser runs 1 minute and 47 seconds and is reportedly the only unlocked trailer so far, while two more remain encrypted. Okay, so that's already getting into the caveat I was going to give on whether or not we can believe this. Now, the current reporting is that Avengers Doomsday is going to release 4 different trailers that are going to be released week by week as with Avatar Fire and Ash. So the first week you get one trailer, second week you get a different trailer. Um, I'm not sure if that's true. I think the smart thing to do would be to, yes, have slightly different trailers, a scenario where probably like 90% of each trailer is the same, but then there's like a slight variation to each one is probably what they're doing. But have them all playing in that first week, and just different theaters like at random got different versions of the trailer. If you're trying to do this word of mouth thing where people are like, "Oh, which characters were in your trailer? Oh, which characters were in your trailer?" And getting people excited about seeing Avengers trailers and movies in the theater, and people are gonna post cell phone recordings of the trailer. But they will be in a movie theater, which is kind of advertising like, hey, yeah, Avengers Doomsday is coming. This is exciting. And that excitement will be contagious, but it will also be like, oh, and it's also exciting. Remember when we would see these movies in theaters and everybody was like freaking out when Cap got Thor's hammer and all that. So I think they're trying to not only get people excited to see Doomsday, but to see it in theaters, of course. Um, so I don't know who is reporting that they saw it, and I'm not interested in finding out who because I'm gonna be a little mean. I don't know if I believe them. It very well could be true, but I wouldn't be surprised even a little bit if somebody's just lying out their ass saying that they've seen it, saying going with this thing of, oh, I've seen the first one, but the other ones are locked for now. It sounds a little fishy, but let's go ahead and read the description that this person says that they saw. All right, let me get it pulled up. Okay, here's the post. I'm an employee at a Cinesystem Cinemas in Rio de Janeiro, and I saw the first trailer that came out. We have access to the first trailer, but the other 2 trailers are still locked with key encryption. That's where the theaters are sent these trailers via the internet. They go onto hard drives and stuff, but they're heavily encrypted. And the files, like essentially if you had a file here on your computer and you hit play, it would play. But with these, they're encrypted to where you can't play them until a certain time. So that's how that works. He says the trailer is 1 minute 47 seconds long. The opening of the trailer is a bunch of different galaxies. I would assume he means universes. Reed Richards, Pedro Pascal's voice, talking about Franklin and his powers. Next was what looked like the X Mansion on fire in some kind of cinematic shot with some kind of Marvel, it says medical music. People are theorizing that he meant medieval music. Medieval is a bitch to spell. Playing in the background, Pedro Pascal, it looks like he's getting a distress signal from Loki in the Baxter building for about 40 seconds. It looks like Doctor Doom is in his metal armor, just as we imagined with the mask, but we don't hear him speak. He is only seen looking at the flag in Latveria while we see the first photo of him. First photo, I guess you mean like first look at him. In Latveria, while we see the first photo of him in his Castle of Latveria. We see the TVA completely destroyed for a few seconds. The most exciting clip that was sad is that we see Doctor Doom grab Magneto and use his telekinesis powers uh, for the first time, and we see and push him to the ground with a lot of fighting going on in the background, and we also see a quick photo of the Sentinels. Doom teleports like the TVA with the orange outline, and we see him entering the Fantastic Four world. I think this is like a clearly a translation, uh, so that's why I'm having trouble reading it here. He goes there with an army of Sentinels while the reconstruction of the city is happening for a few seconds, and then it cuts to black, and we see the logo for Avengers Doomsday. Then it cuts to back to a quick photo of Pedro Pascal using his stretching powers fighting Bucky. It has an Age of Ultron feeling trailer, but more medieval and intense. Okay, let's break down. And after reading that, that's making me think even more. It's not the case. A lot of this. Now, look, what I'm about to say could say, well, that's more reason to think it's true. But we all have seen the leaked images of there's a fight that happens like outside the X Mansion. So yeah, you could say, oh, well, seeing the X Mansion and the Sentinels, that makes sense because we saw leaked pictures of that. Well, but also if this person's full of shit, they saw those leaked pictures and they're using that to make their story sound more believable that that's actually what they saw. I love the idea of Doom getting Sentinels, so that's neat. I'm not so sure that you have. Look, Pedro Pascal definitely a very big movie star. He's in everything. Lots of people like him. I just don't know that you have him narrating the trailer. I think you have RDJ narrating the trailer. He's the star of this movie. He's been at the forefront of this marketing campaign. Fantastic Four, it was fine. It did fine at the box office, but it wasn't. That's just not your draw here. I don't think you talk about Franklin Richards and all that kind of stuff. And I think you focus on the Doctor Doom of it all. So that's what's making me kind of doubt that they're going. I mean, then again, Fantastic Four, it was the most recent movie we will have seen before going into Doomsday. So no, Brand New Day actually will be, but as of right now, it is. Um, we know what Doom's armor is going to look like already from that photo that was released. The Latveria stuff, I don't know. I mean, sure, we could see him standing in front of a Latvian flag. It's not going to mean much to anybody. The TVA completely destroyed. Sure, maybe. The one thing that's really standing out to me, well, two things. The Loki beacon. I think the Loki beacon is what we see in the Ten Rings. That beacon that's flashing at the end of Shang-Chi. It looks just like the what Loki's tree looks like when flipped on its side. So I think that could be the Loki beacon. But we also had it established in Fantastic Four First Steps that you Reed has the ability to track like signatures. Like that's how he's able to like find Galactus is by tracking the Silver Surfer's like cosmic signature or whatever. So theoretically that's what Loki could be putting off as like a cosmic signature, and that's how the Ten Rings are able to find him, but that's also how the Fantastic Four are able to find him. Maybe that's why they're going to the 616, because what Reed is actually picking up on isn't actually Loki. What he's actually picking up on is the Ten Rings that will then lead them to Loki. So that all sounds really cool. And then there's of course the Magneto of it all. The thing I'm most excited to see in this movie, and that I hope to see in the trailer as well, I want to see Ian McKellen Magneto being like the only dude that can actually lay some blows on Doctor Doom, and then of course have him die like heroically. I think that would be super cool. So yeah, there's the leaked trailer description that everyone's running with. Oh, I just don't believe it. I don't believe it because these trailers are literally, maybe not literally, they're under a technological lock and key. These trailers cannot be accessed. Now, sure, is there a way to probably get around it if you're tech savvy? Maybe. It is there a way to that there may have been like a mistake, or like it wasn't done correctly and somebody was able to just turn it on and play it because the proper locks weren't put in place? Sure, that's all possible. But wouldn't Dude have recorded it with his cell phone if that were the case? And wouldn't he have needed to project it to see it? Well, no. I don't really know how that works. I've never been a projectionist, especially in like a digital age. I don't know if you can like preview on the computer screen in the back by the projector the different files you're getting. You probably can, but it is really lock and key, man. They can't just. It's not just like having media files on your desktop or in your Photos app or whatever, and you can just watch whatever you want. It's very uh, under lock and key, especially before the movie comes out. So yeah, I think if this were true, there'd be a recording of it. And I just don't think it's true because I don't think Marvel would slip up on that, especially if they're wanting to do this theater only thing. And yes, I think they know full well that once they actually put the trailer out in theaters, there will be people recording the trailer. But part of their marketing campaign might be that they want cell phone recordings of the trailer playing and people in the audience getting really excited at the different pops in the trailer. So I could see that being part of their marketing strategy. I do not think they want part of their marketing strategy to be an empty theater and somebody recording it up from the booth or something like that. So I think that they totally would have made sure that this wouldn't be possible. So I don't think this is real. And it really doesn't even sound that cool. I think the trailer needs to be way cooler than that. I mean, yeah, Mr. Fantastic and Bucky fighting, that's cool, but there's so many other things. Like, you need to hear Doom speak, I think. And I just think they're off the top of my head, I don't want to like get into my head of like what needs to be seen in this trailer. Other than I think it needs to be very Doom heavy, and this one doesn't sound super Doom heavy. It sounds like Reed Richards heavy. And I said in a previous episode of Ask Colton that actually came out yesterday. So if you guys haven't seen that yet, be sure to watch it. That I do hope that Reed Richards is the protagonist to Doom's antagonist. Like in this, if you have to pick one like other leading guy, yes, I think we need to build up Reed Richards as opposed to like having it be Chris Evans, who I do hope is in the movie, but I think Steve Rogers needs to serve in like an elder statesman type role and not be like the main guy because I mean Reed Richards, Doctor Doom. That's like Spider Man, Green Goblin, Batman, Joker. It's Reed Richards, Doctor Doom. And so I do think that he needs to be that character. But in terms of marketing, well, maybe if I want that, then maybe it's a good idea that they're really laying into the Reed Richards of it all and like, billing him as the second to Robert Downey Jr., which is how it was in the Chairs lineup video. So we'll just have to see. I've been talking too long. I'm sick right now, but I just had to talk about this. I think I'm on the mend. I'm getting there. I need to actually go to the pharmacy, pick up some antibiotic, whatever, that I got called in. But let me know your thoughts on all of this down in the comments below. Do you think this trailer's real? Uh, I don't. I don't think anyone has seen the trailer yet at like a movie theater or anything. I think they are very locked away. But we shall see. We'll be getting it soon, one way or another. All right. I will see you guys next time. Bye.